Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Berube here. We are live today, Facebook Live, from the lovely state of Arizona. We have with us today Darrell Coleman. Darrell, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much.
If you can hear our studio audience, they're a little rambunctious today, which is good. All right, Darrell, so tell us a little about yourself, how long you've been in the business. I love your shirt, by the way. Great job.
Oh, absolutely. I always got to represent Berkshire. So for me, I've been in the business 4.5 years. I started in July of 2017. Um, didn't start out, very well in the first year, but it picked up definitely along the way. Um, a little bit about myself is I was in the Army for 3 years. I started in 2003, ended in 2006. Maybe a month and a half after that, I actually joined the Navy for 6 years.
Wow.
And yeah, I just wanted to torture myself a little bit more. So I did a little bit more time. So 9 years total. After that 9 years, kind of bounced around for jobs. Um, Started at the federal government in 2014. And from there, purchased a home a year later. And during that home purchase process, it actually got me real excited to get into the real estate business. And 4.5 years later, I'm still here.
That's awesome. Wow. So you were sick of traveling on land, so you went to sea? Is that it for
Exactly. Well, almost that way. So when I went to the Navy, I actually was a Seabee. So the Seabees travel with the Army, with the Marines, and you still travel on land. And I didn't know that until I got in 6 years.
All right. Well, good for you. Thanks for your service. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
But I would venture to guess. It's funny, Derek, because people always ask me if I was in the military. I think because of my haircut, non-haircut in this
Right.
case, and I work out, and they think I'm a little disciplined. So they say to me, "Were you in the military?" And I always go, "No, but I was to Catholic schools for 10 years."
Oh, that's it. That gives you the structure. That's all you
Right. Well,
need.
that's what I was going to say. For you, when you have that military structure and so forth, and I guarantee you that carried into your real estate business, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So give us a little idea of what you do. Like, your manager suggested, and I'm like, all right, I can't wait to talk to Darrell. So tell us what you're doing, what's happening. I know you own some rentals you mentioned in Arizona, which I'm sure you're happy about owning those babies.
Oh, very happy. Yeah, the market's real good for the rentals. Um, so for me, actually, this is a part-time job that I do. So I don't do it full time. That makes it a little bit more difficult, but that allows me to push more when it comes to um, being a real estate agent. Because now I got to get creative. I
Right.
got to figure out times in between my 15-minute breaks, before my morning meetings, things like that with the job that I'm in. I gotta push all of this in along with being a family man. Um, but I think the benefits that I have are having my rental properties. It makes it real easy for me to do sales because I already understand the complications in buying investment homes. I understand the rental parameters within, especially in my area, and especially with that first time home purchase, that was the scariest one for me. But now I'm three in and going on hopefully a lot more. It just makes it easier for me to convey myself onto my clients and let them know, hey, this is what I've been through. The best way to do it is just really just jump in. And I actually have a YouTube channel to share a lot of the information for the first time buyers, for the sellers, for the renters, or whatever the case may be. I have that YouTube channel for a lot of the individuals that are interested in purchasing.
I love it. Well, so you educate them and so forth. So what is your other full time job as well as real estate?
So I work for the federal government, the VA hospital.
Oh, nice.
So I still give back to the veterans, still feel connected. But I work for the Travel Nurse Corps, actually sending doctors and nurses all around the U.S.
Wow.
With COVID being as rampant as it was, March 13th of 2020, we went into overtime. Real estate kind of took a back burner for me, but it just made me get more creative. I was able to watch a lot of YouTube videos, read a lot of books, and figure out how I can be more competitive in the market. And over last year and this year, it's definitely paid off. Um, but it was a struggle because it is a part-time gig for me.
Interesting. That's interesting. My wife's a nurse practitioner, and she's been to
Okay.
Haiti, like I think at least three times, if not four.
Oh
Africa.
yeah.
I know she did something at I think it was in South Carolina for a camp with children with sickle cell anemia. I think it's what it's called.
Yep.
And so she does a lot of those. She hasn't done one in about a year and a half now. I think the ones in South Carolina was the last one. So she does those too. And Haiti, I think for her was the most interesting way to be. She went there for a week and a half, three or four times now, and it's quite an experience to go to other countries and see what's happening. Right?
Oh yeah. We had a few of them go down to Puerto Rico when there was a catastrophe. I want to say last year, and it was life changing for a lot of people down here. But the outpour of people that wanted to go, we had about 30 people out of 100, and that was really nice to see that.
Yeah. No, it's great when you can help out, and I think it really makes you realize how well we have it in this country, even though we're not perfect and there are things going on at all times. But it's a pretty
Oh,
good.
absolutely.
Would you agree? Yeah.
I agree.
All right. So you and so I like it. So you do that full time, and then you do real estate on the side. So like, what's your goal for 2022, as well as doing your full time job? How many transactions would you like to do in real estate?
I try to keep it realistic. I actually look between 10 to 20 transactions throughout the year. With me, I'm not doing as much, cold calls, door knocking, and open houses as I want to. But it's really from a word of mouth. I stay connected with a lot of my clients. And by doing that, it actually brings in 10 to 20 per year. So I don't have to do an extreme amount of work, but I still have the chance to actually bring in the clients without, going out there beating feet every day.
Right. Well, I know a lot of full time agents that would like to do 15, 20 deals.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, too. So doing your full time job and doing that. Now, with your other job, do you get referrals and stuff too? I imagine you, with being involved with the veterans and so forth, you probably have some kind of connection there, right?
I do. And because I've been in, I worked with the homeless. A lot of the homeless actually have, VA vouchers that they can use. And because of what we've committed to in the community, meaning like I used to jump in dumpsters when we would go look for homeless individuals. And you just really have to meet them where they're at. So
Mm,
if I had to jump in a dumpster or sit on a bench park with somebody that didn't shower for 2, 3 months, really it's just a conversation and connection. So those connections that I made over the last 7, 8 years are still connected today. So if we had the chance to transition those individuals into housing, a lot of the VA employees actually reach out to me because I've been connected in that community for the last almost 10 years.
yeah, that's great. And those are some of the best people to work with too. Honest, hardworking people, and you're helping them get them a house too. And that
Mhm.
working with homeless, I've had nothing like what you just said, but we have a homeless shelter here, a Vegas mission, and as a company, we go down and
Mhm.
before COVID, we would serve, and I think they're back doing it again. Serve lunches, and we would go in and serve dinner. We would go in and a couple of days a month, go in, and then you really get a good idea or a decent idea of how tough some people have it. And I think
Yeah.
you know, they live on the streets, and that's why I think they pick Phoenix and Las Vegas, two great areas as far as temperature and year round, being able to
Mhm.
live outside. You have no idea what's actually going on unless you go down there and really check it out.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, cool. So let's see. World traveler, been all over the place. So if you could give anybody, I like to ask this question of people like yourself. So if you could give people three pieces of advice to maximize their existence, whether they're doing real estate part time or full time. Most of our agents are full time, but we do have a couple like yourself that are very successful doing it part time, and I'm sure that's why Tiffany recommended you. Plus, with all the wonderful stuff that you're doing as well with the homeless and so forth. If you could give them what would be the top three things you tell people to focus on?
The top three. I actually got a lot. I try to mentor people, so I try to give them some of the gems. But
Mm-hmm.
one of the main ones are with every client that you uh, work with or you have a transaction with, actually stay in touch with them continuously. Never stop communicating with them. Um, even whether it be just social media. I know a lot of them do emails and things like that. I 100% stay connected on social media, text messages. If you're in the area, hey, I'm in the area. I was just thinking about you. That would be number one. Number two is prospect. No matter where you go, prospect everywhere. I'm in the grocery store, in the elevator. I was driving actually in the car downtown Phoenix area, and somebody flagged me down, and I had to pull over to give them some cards. So prospecting can be anywhere, but prospect, door knocking, calling people, doing community things, ringing the bell for Santa. That's all prospecting. Continuously do that throughout your whole career, and then really just be consistent. That'd be
Mm.
the third thing is being consistent in everything you do. If you promise something, make sure you communicate what's happening. I don't want to say deliver because there's times that I wasn't able to deliver what I promised. So I just told them, hey, this is what I promised you, and there's no way I can actually do it. So being consistent in whatever you're doing, that would be that should actually be number one, but just do that always.
Hmm. Well, I would say all three of those were number one. They're all very important. You got to be consistent, otherwise you're
Mhm.
not, uh, you're not going to achieve your goal. You got to talk to people. You mentioned that. Stay in touch
Yeah.
with your sphere. Be consistent. Visit them. I think that's such an important part. Everybody has a sphere. A lot of people overanalyze it. Well, I haven't been in the business that long. Well, I don't have that many people. Well, you have a sphere. Everybody has a sphere. You can create your own by your second one, which is prospecting,
Yeah.
right? So I
Yeah,
totally.
the biggest fear is really just your neighborhood and pre-employment, friends, family. You don't have to bombard them, but you just let them know, hey, this is what I do. I do real estate. If you know anybody, please just share my information. And then by sharing it on social media, friends and family have the chance to actually share it or help it and like it and different things like that. So that's still connecting with your sphere of influence, though.
Yeah, definitely keep connected with your sphere. That's a great way to do it too. And especially in this time of year with it's the holidays coming, and it's a great time of year to reach out, say hello. You don't even need an excuse. You have the holidays right now. You just call them, check in.
That's it.
I actually call it reverse prospecting, where you don't talk about real estate. Let them bring it up because they will,
Yeah.
right? And it's the perfect way to get in a conversation with people.
Yeah, the biggest thing they bring up is the value of the home. And since you're sitting there having a regular conversation, you can always say, yeah, the value is good. This is what's going on with the market. And they remember you.
They certainly do, especially in like you just said. You live in a part of the world where your property is appreciated on average 32.3%. It was the number one
Yeah.
appreciating market in the country, the Phoenix Scottsdale area, which you live. And I love your area too. There, Goodyear, Litchfield. I love that area because there's still some really good deals out there, even though they've gone up a lot in the last 3-4 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, with the interest rates being low, the deals are still good. And that's what I educate a lot of people on is, yeah, the prices are going up, but with the interest rates being as low as they are, it's really the best time to get in. With everything that's growing, we were just talking earlier about, the Super Bowl and things like that happening here. This is
Yes.
the place to be.
Yes, I just want everybody to know you've heard it first here on Facebook Live with Rick Berube and Darrell Coleman that we will be having a Cardinals Patriots Super Bowl. Okay, just so you know, just to give you a coming attraction. Obviously, Darrell's a Cardinals. I'm from New England originally. I used to be a seasoned Darrell. I just want you to know I was just people say to me all the time, especially I this morning at the gym have my Patriots sweatshirt on, right? I don't wear it all the time, but it's just a coincidence. I have like 3 or 4 of them. I just rotate them in the morning to wear.
Yeah.
Someone said, basically to me, fair weather fan. I go, fair weather fan? I think not. I have season tickets when they were terrible, when they were under 500 every single season. I remember you're probably too young, but there was a quarterback for the Patriots called Steve Grogan. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
The first time we went to the Super Bowl, it was Tony Eason and Steve Grogan, and they both would play in the game. They both played in the Super Bowl, right? It was against Chicago Bears. They crushed us. But I got to go to that Super Bowl and the next one against Green Bay. We lost that one too. So, yeah, like my kids, my oldest is 25. They've never seen a bad Patriots team. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So they
oh
think the
yeah.
Patriots have always been good. I'm like, no.
That wasn't the case.
Half the And I'm really excited for the Cardinals because they look really good this year.
Yeah, they've done excellent. Actually, they've done really, really good.
Yeah, even with Watt out, is he going to make it back or is he out for the season?
I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I know he got hurt. He plays so hard. Him and his brother, they both play incredibly hard. All right, Darrell, pleasure having you today. Any final words of wisdom you want to leave these wonderful people?
Just keep at it. Don't let the first year crush you. You got to keep going. The first year wasn't too good for me. I made $1,400. That'll never happen again. So just keep at it.
You learned a lot for that, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Pain is the best educator and motivator. It really is.
Yeah, you can't look at other people's paycheck. You got to look at your own. You got to keep going.
Right. Yeah, and you said that, and I like the way you said it too, because your first year will not determine you. Okay, it
It
won't,
won't.
good or bad. The first year is really laying the foundation and moving on, and because you learn a lot as long as you continue. I've never met anybody in real estate who didn't make it, who just kept going, and obviously
Yeah.
had a plan and was consistent and did some
Yeah.
prospecting, like you said, and worked on developing their sphere right from the beginning. So.
That's it.
All right, my man. Well, thank you very much. Good luck in all your endeavors. I know that you'll, I love the fact that you have your Berkshire Hathaway shirt on, and I know you appreciate the branding just like I do. So keep it
Absolutely.
rocking. All right.
All right,
Thanks,
man. I
everybody.
appreciate it.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas.
Thank you.